5 of his best fighters, better fighters.
He's lost Johnny Bones Jones, who's a title holder. He lost Street Jesus with Jorge Masvidal.
Okay.
And then Connor.
3 big draws.
Yes, because Street Jesus has the BMF title. And so now you have 2 vacant titles, and you're losing arguably the best fighter in the UFC.
And you're going to find that other fighters will follow because
Absolutely.
now they don't have that fighter that they look up to have that big purse. Because when it's not just you're fighting Conor McGregor. You're fighting Conor McGregor not just because you want to beat his ass, but because you want that purse.
It's red panty night, what he says.
It's
red panty night.
It is. And that's what it is. I mean, if I'm fighting, like, you had some great smack talk for Kelly Pavlik. But at the end of the day...
Just don't punch me in the stomach now because I got the squirts. let me get over this first.
At the end of the day, if you want to fight Kelly, you fight Kelly, but you fight him for the purse you're going to get.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
You're not going to fight him for nothing in a parking lot.
No,
like if I'm if I'm throwing like dollars, you're not worried about that. You're worried about the big purse.
Yep.
Because if you're getting your ass beat, you want to make sure you get something out of it. Them losing those 3 could sink Fight Island.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I read something that Conor McGregor still is making the highest paid. I love Conor McGregor, so I'm gonna bring him up all the time. But he's arguably he is the highest paid fighter that ever every fight that
Gross, yep.
His last fight with Cowboy, who was washed up, Conor coming back, lasted 45 seconds, still made more money than John Bones Jones, who's a title holder. That's the main event. And he's still getting paid more, so I can see why John Bones Jones said, Fight Island, that's not for me, I'm out. But they're getting 5% or 10% of that whole, on top of the fans coming in, on top of the promotions, on top of the the ads and stuff they're selling. Pay-per-view, all the money from pay-per-view, and they're getting like 5 to 10% of that. That's insane. So I can see why the frustration is there.
And then people don't realize that when you look at how it's broken down, when Dana comes out that night after a fight and says the fight of the night was this was the fighter of the night, this was he's saying that because they're getting extra money for that. Like, that's the cool part of the MMA and the UFC is they can do that. Can you imagine? And I actually saw this today, back to baseball a little bit. Some of the negotiations is they're going to have a playoff pool of money. So now, the way I understand it might not be accurate, but the way I understand it, the way I read it was, the further you go in the playoffs, the more money you get. Really? So they have this crown of. I look at it like Money in the Bank in wrestling, where you just keep going and going and going. All of a sudden, you reach up after you beat the Yankees and you pull it down, and you've got your contract for millions and millions of dollars. That I can get behind.
Yeah, that's cool.
Winners win, right? Yeah. You want to see people put it all on the line? Like, nothing will piss me off more than a ball that drops in front of a person that didn't go all out.
Yeah.
You want to see somebody dive. You want to see someone give up their body and, like, go into the stands 7 rows like they do in Major League 2 and grab it. Like, that's where it's at. Money talks.
Absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely.
That's why MMA, UFC has a great opportunity. But to what you said, and I'll let you elaborate on this, before the show you said Dana's got enough money to buy an island, but he doesn't have enough money to pay his guys.
And I think that's where all this is stemming from. Like, John Bones Jones, yes, dude's a knucklehead, got in some trouble. Should he be speaking out and trying to fight with his boss, who brought him back time and time again? Maybe not. But I'm not in all that, so I don't know. But what he's saying is, I'm fighting these mega fights, and you're buying an island, and you can't give me a little bit more money. Like, you want a super fight, but you're not going to pay for a super fight. But you're buying an island.
Yep.
It all comes back to you buying an island.
He's fighting. I think the biggest problem we have with guys that are arguing about money in major leagues, millionaires versus billionaires, however you want to break it down, is they're not playing. Like, I'm not willing to give you, as a business owner, I'm not willing to give you money if you're not going to do what I'm asking you to do. So, and obviously the players aren't going to jump in without negotiating what they're going to get. But reality is, just prorate the deal. If you're playing 76% of a season, you get 76% of your contract. But you have people that go, no, you signed a contract. Well, yes, nobody saw Corona coming. Literally nobody saw Corona coming. So let's make the best out of a bad situation. if you're only playing 76%, you shouldn't get 100% of your contract. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for that, but let's incentivize it. If you bring a World Series back, we'll talk.
Yeah.
Because there's extra money in it for me, there's extra money in it for you.
Yep.
This whole playoff pool changes the game for me. Because if you play 50, 72 games, okay, you're getting their best every single day.
Yep.
And I can dig that. I can dig that. Because scale it back, and let's see how much harder players go when they know they're playing 50 home games, 50 away games in a 100-game season, and then go to the playoffs, and then the Money in the Bank contracts sitting there. Like, instead of bringing out that shitty trophy, that the World Series trophy for the world champion, that the pennants with that George Costanza drug through Seinfeld, bring out a case of just straight cash and just be like, here's our new trophy. Because that's in society, that's where we're at now, right?
Money talks.
Money talks. We're not worried about the trophy anymore. That's just a photo op. Can you imagine, not that it's all Mike Trout's fault, can you imagine Mike Trout just making it rain, like, with money? The confetti's going off and he's just throwing money like this. Like, he's so happy. I think that's the way to do it in baseball. And if this is the way they do it, fantastic. But UFC's got a real problem because when a guy buys an island, there's a little bit of ego to him.
It's Mortal Kombat.
It is.
What it is.
How much does an island cost, you think?
I don't know. I know a tiger costs $2,000. So
Probably a little more than
probably
that.
like
Probably a little bit more
25 tigers. But if you have an army of tigers, to take it back to Parks and Rec, if there's any Parks and Rec fans out there, if you have an army of tigers, you could probably take an island for pretty cheap. You get off a cargo plane with 25 tigers, I think you own the island now.
Pretty much.
What do you? I mean, you're the biggest UFC fan at this table, and you've been in. I mean, you didn't get paid. You were supposed to get a jacket, but you didn't. But like, what's wrong with the fighter stance on this, and what's wrong with Dana's stance?
They just, the communication I don't think is there. I mean, the fighters want more money, absolutely, because
More money than they're already guaranteed?
I think they sign blind half the time. Like, oh, I'm getting this fight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they sign blind. And there is some, like, promotion deals out there with the Reeboks. You're getting, John Bones Jones has Burger King on the back of his shorts. You know what I mean?
Whoever's
so
paying,
market
right?
yourself.
Yeah.
At the same time. So I mean, I could see Dana White's like, he's not restricting them to say you can't go do this, go do that. From what I understand, but like, at the same time, they want more money. I could see both sides of it. But here's the same. Dana's still got to pay Joe Rogan. He's still got to pay all those other guys there that are commentating the fights, the judges,
Cameraman,
Yep,
insurance,
everything.
all
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah.
So it adds up. But it's hard to pick a side.
My problem is this.
But Dana White's a businessman.
It's chicken.
He's been doing it right for how long though?
Right. I mean, I remember being in early stages of high school, and UFC was out there. It just wasn't mainstream. They came out with their first video game, which was huge. But now they're selling, there's the UFC app. There's everything. It's on ESPN, all this stuff. My question always is, do the fighters need the UFC more than the UFC needs the fighters? So, situation where, does Dana White need those fighters, or can he create another superstar without those three?
I said this the other day. I was running with my friend the other day. I said, it just takes Bellator or someone else to say, Johnny Bones, there you go. Here's your money.
Right.
And then, shoot, everyone. Because MMA is MMA.
It is.
You're just fighting for a name at some point. So, like again, I don't know who else is out there. I don't know if Pride's out there, Bellator, whatever it is. There's so many. But it takes one of those guys to say, here's your money.
But it turns into WWE versus WWF versus WCW, where you can go get those guys, but what kind of prime are they still in? Like Johnny Bones Jones, one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, he's almost out.
Dude couldn't stay clean.
Yeah.
Like his prime years are gone, and he wants to prove that they're not, but they are. Like, you wasted them, you bought it through your nose. So congratulations. You shot up. You did the stuff you weren't supposed to do.
Yeah.
If you want to move on, fine. But I find it hard to believe that Dana White couldn't create another Johnny Bones Jones.
Well, right now he has Habib, who's undefeated.
Yep.
And then you have Osanyo, who's undefeated. He's a light heavyweight
Stipe,
champion.
people love Stipe.
Stipe's coming back.
Yep.
DC's fighting Stipe
Yeah.
again, in August for the third time. So you do have these guys and that are still in their prime, like Habib. He's young. That whole welterweight class is loaded. Well, Street Jesus is leaving, but still, they're loaded.
But do you see the issue is like these guys are going to leave and they're going to realize, where do I go? Like, my bread's buttered in the UFC. They hype me. They're a hype machine.
And like you said, it's what was WWF at the time? WWF and then WCW. Like, yes, they were cool, but which one did you want to watch at the end of the day? You know what I mean?
Michael Page saying they didn't buy an island. They've fought there before. I thought he bought the island.
I thought he bought it.
So and that's why he named it Fight Island, and it's in of all places.
It may have been part of that contract, and he just said, "You know what? Let me buy everything out."
It's in Abu Dhabi, and if
Isn't that India?
if anybody remembers,
UAE.
you're way too young to remember this. Garfield the cartoon, Garfield will always pack up Nermal and send her to Abu Dhabi. So Garfield, ipso facto, always sent Nermal to Fight Island. So let that sink in for a little bit. So it's interesting. I mean, if Mike Page has a different view on the situation, I thought he bought the island. That's why it's such a big deal.
I can see like what he's saying with the contract is if they have fought there before, I guarantee he bought it then because he's already in. You know what I mean?
There's so many people that have islands. You know what I mean? They buy their own private island and yada yada yada. Okay, it makes sense for this.
Yeah.
It really does. You know, because especially again, you look back at our political situation we're in here. Who knows when it's going to be okay to fight again?
Yeah.
And what's the number one thing in fighting, other than fighting itself, is the gambling.
Yep.
The money involved in it, the Vegas odds, the things that...
Like the DraftKings and stuff. That's the only time I ever do is UFC fights.
Yeah, there's a ton of money involved in it that Dana... Like, people look at it and they go, well, yeah, nobody's fighting, so he's not making... He's okay with that. I think at the end of the day, he's fine with that. It's the money he's missing out on with the gambling.
Yeah.
And if you haven't figured it out yet, I got news for you. And this is a spoiler alert, so I'll give you a second to tune out. Gambling rules the world. It rules the world. There's bets on everything, side bets, prop bets. Gambling rules the world. And the fact that it's going to be legalized is exciting for me. It's exciting for me because sports betting, can people get in trouble betting? They absolutely can.
Yeah.
They can also get in trouble doing 100 other things, a million other things that doesn't put them in situations. Gambling, like it's to me, it is what I don't want them gambling on kids' games. I think there's a difference.
Be a fine line.
They have to be professionals or semi-pros.
Yeah, go to a Coach Pitts game. I got 20 on this team.
Yeah, I got 20.
That's my neighbor kid. I can know he can hoop.
That's it. That's it. And when you start getting involved and people start throwing, because I think there's a different scenario where if you're in college or if you're in the pros, you know and your coaches know that this is what goes on. And you can control what you can control, and you're not going to throw things for a couple bucks. When you're 14 years old and somebody comes up to you and goes, hey, I'll give you a Snickers bar if you strike out. Snickers bar tastes really good.
Yeah.
Like you know you're not going to go D1. So, yeah. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit. We'll wrap up on Fight Island. Special thanks to Michael Page for throwing that 2 cents in. Guys, we're going to get into the Confederate flag talk. I mean, something that's unfortunately part of sports, so we're going to talk about it. Is it the right move for NASCAR? Is it the wrong move for NASCAR? Are they going to lose some of the fan base? We'll address all that stuff next on the Power Hour on YSN Live. Tune in, call in, YSN hotline, 330-886. Oh, I thought I was going to make it. 330-886-0813. We'll talk to you in a minute.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
The inner showers I'm keeping my eye on in parts of Columbiana County.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Yoakley with you alongside my friends Richie Giuliano, Tristan Reynolds, and Quentin Pushkar, who is away for the time being. Guys, it's not often we try to get into the political talk, but when it crosses into the sports world and directly affects us, then we have to kind of address it. So right now, we look at the Confederate flag in NASCAR. NASCAR is banning it. So I'm going to read the NASCAR statement. You can tell me your thoughts on it, one way or the other. And again, just a reminder, none of the opinions expressed during this telecast or any of our telecasts are directly representative of YSN Live, Yoakley Scott Corporation, or the like. So they're just opinions, our personal opinions, and hopefully that the people can take it with a grain of salt, and because you're entitled to your opinion as well. So the NASCAR statement says, the presence of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events runs contrary to the commitment to providing a welcoming and inclusive environment for all fans, our competitors, and our industry. Bringing people together around a love of racing and the community that it creates is what makes our fans and sports special. The display of the Confederate flag will be prohibited from all NASCAR events and properties. NASCAR. So, everybody understands what the what the Confederate flag represents, what it shows, who's usually waving it, primarily in the South. And are you okay with this? I mean, is this something that you're okay with, that you can see the reasoning behind it, or is it something that you feel that maybe it's a slippery slope that NASCAR is driving down, and what's next? I want to hear your guys' opinions.
I think anytime you take a situation on like this, like head on, there will be a slippery slope, no matter what stance you take. I think going forward, it was going to come eventually.
Yep.
It just came at this time, so I mean, it probably was a good decision in their eyes. Like I said, it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen because you're slowly starting to see it disappear everywhere. And I know NASCAR, that like they hang their hat on that a lot of the times. So
they've tried to hide it for years.
Yeah.
Right? They've tried to hide it. I mean, you can't hide the RVs.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I mean, that's just part of NASCAR. When you see the Confederate flag up there, as long as our flag is higher, that's all I care about.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Everybody has their opportunities to express themselves. And just because, I also want to make this statement, just because they raise a Confederate flag does not automatically label them as a racist. I don't want anybody to think that. I know there's a lot of perception, and perception becomes reality. I'm not trying to defend the people who fly the Confederate flag, but I just want to, like, all this pointing at racism is, I really think that there's a problem with every time we look at it and we point to someone because of one particular situation and we call that person a racist because, like, take a breath. Take a breath. Not everything is built around race. It's just not. And I think, to your point, it's a slippery slope for NASCAR. They're doing what they think appeases the fans, but I also think there's 500 other things that are going to creep their way into mainstream. They're going to go, well, what about, you did this to the Confederate flag, well, why won't you do this? This is important to me. We can't, businesses, industries, sports can't appease everybody's, everybody's a victim.
It comes back to, like, being an umpire, you're never gonna be right
50%. All the time.
Yes, and some people are gonna be happy, some people are not gonna be happy,
Yep.
and that's just life. I mean, at the end of the day, that's life. So I mean, you got to make decisions in your own life. You got to make decisions, and same with you. People aren't gonna like your decisions,
Nope.
but at the end of the day, you're making those decisions because you're doing what you need to do.
The problem that I have with this situation is if you don't agree with it, again, if you don't agree with it one way or the other, you're a racist one way or the other.
Yep.
We as YSN did not make a statement about all this stuff going on. And it's because it's not in our lane. We're a sports network that provides a service to local communities for sports. We don't have a dog in the fight. We don't have any, it's not us. It doesn't address us. This, because it's in sports, we can discuss it. I was approached personally and called a racist because I did not support publicly the Black Lives Matter movement and the things that are going on. I feel like I'm the furthest thing from a racist.
Absolutely.
I have black friends, I have police officer friends, I'm not saying anything because I can't talk and listen at the same time. If they want me to listen and be educated, or us to listen and be educated, I'm not going to talk. I'm going to listen. And then I'm going to have my personal opinion, and I'm not going to put that opinion on my company because it's just not supposed to happen. I don't feel that you guys should be branded under my personal opinions the same way I feel when you are out there. I shouldn't have to be branded if you guys decide to have a drink or someone decides to go AWOL and go nuts and make their opinions known. Our brand is completely separate from, but I know as the owner of this company, my personal opinions will be presented as YSNs, right? So to clarify this whole situation, our whole situation, not that I wanted to, but I feel like it's out there and it's somewhat public now. There's no racism. We're just sitting back. We're not we were happy. Some of my best friends are African Americans and black. I'll just say it. I'm cool with it. They're cool with it. Our relationship hasn't changed. I have best friends. I worked at a police station. I know there's good cops out there. I know there's 99% of the people are going to save your life. They're there to support you. Your brother being one of them. That's why it's tough for me when everybody's going at each other's throats. It's not fair. And the same thing here. One of the main reasons America is great is because the freedom of speech. Just because you have the freedom to speak doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt others. It doesn't mean that others won't take it and go and really, really take it to the next level. But we got to learn to listen to each other. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem in America right now is because I have an opinion and you're wrong because it's not my words coming out of your mouth. We got to figure out how to agree and have an argument or a disagreement and still shake hands and hug and walk away and respecting each other. Even though you don't change my opinion or I don't change yours, it's okay. Now, if there's social injustice, that needs to be solved. That is a problem. But right now, I think that getting back to the topic at hand, the Confederate flag, guys, it's been around for a long time. Why all of a sudden is it now it's at the top of the paper stack? Again, I'm not for it, but a slippery slope. What's next? What's next?
Do you feel like their hands got forced, essentially?
I think a lot of people's hands got forced. I think that there's a lot of people out there that are conforming to what they feel is the right thing to do because everybody's doing it. And I had a quote earlier that was nowhere connected to what's going on in America that said, be a voice, not an echo. If you're going to believe in it and you're going to say it, you better believe in it because people will call bullshit all day. Mm-hmm. So instead of trying to be like everybody else, because what I fear is going to happen is going to be everybody jumps on one side and then they try to wander their way back or, put everything, one side or the other. They try to put everything under the rug. So if we stay neutral, you're still in a bad position because people will still call you out. It's frustrating. It's frustrating as a business owner. It's frustrating as an individual because we didn't say anything and I still had someone dip in and say, hey, you're a racist. No, you don't know me. You don't know me. Just because I don't put a graphic together, have Quinn put a graphic together that says, we respect everything. Like, we're allowed to say nothing. That's the beautiful part of this is we just want to listen. We just want to hear the side and be like, okay, if I ever feel or we ever feel as a company inclined to pick one side or the other, then we can. But we're not in a position, any of us, that go, I don't think we go down this road. And I'm not super comfortable talking about it right now, but
you made the right argument when you said you don't have a dog in the fight, and that's like going to a little league game and starting to yell at coaches and umpires when you don't have a kid in the game.
You just walk away.
Yeah,
like you stir it up and walk away.
It's like, why am I even like that? So when you don't have a dog in the fight, you don't. I mean, you shouldn't have to feel, that.
I think there's a lot of people out there. I think there's some pot stirrers, and I think the trouble is going to be that some of these pot stirrers are going to actually make change, and it's going to bring more tension to the situation as opposed to walking away.
That's what I do a lot. I like to stir the pot and just walk the hell away.
You do. You do. That's why I was looking at you.
Me? Who? What?
Yeah, what? No, I wasn't even there. Wasn't even there. But you got such a look that everybody remembers you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like that was that little shit right there.
Why is he running? Why did he take his shoes off? So yeah, I mean, you guys. I mean, you don't have to. Obviously, if you feel like you don't want to talk about it, that's fine too. But I mean, do you guys have opinions on just this particular Confederate flag situation in NASCAR? Do you feel that other sports will follow? It's not really prevalent in other sports, but it's pretty prevalent in the South. I mean, the Ole Miss Rebels.
Yeah.
Are they gonna change their name? Crestview. We talked about. Is that a situation where there's going to be peer pressure to change the mascot? Or the Rebel logo.
Yeah.
You've talked about they don't use the old man with the sword anymore. They don't use the Rebel flag anymore. What's left?
It's starting to change, and there may have been a time where I'm not 100% sure on this, where they thought about changing the name, and
it's always there. It's always there.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is. It's always there.
You're gonna have both stance, like you just said. You're gonna have both sides.
I'm just going to put it out there. You think there's going to be pressure, and I hate even doing this, that people are going to say, hey, Crestview, you can't be the Rebels anymore because it represents X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. It represents all the things that are bad about a former America.
I think there will be, and I don't want to say it's inevitable, but I think there will be, but
it won't change.
The way, and I'm sure Cressy already got a head start on this. The administration over there is phenomenal. They do a great job.
You know some of them.
Yeah, they do a great job over there. So I'm sure they have already sat down and had this conversation to a certain point. And I'm sure they're ready to handle it if it presents itself.
Well, they're professionals over there, like you said. But there's a lot of people that they get on the social soapbox, and all of a sudden it's an issue. And we all know from being on social media that it can catch fire pretty quick.
Yes, it's like a dust fire, man.
Yeah.
This is going to go. And like he said, camp films got changed to the black squirrels, and it wasn't even an issue, right? It was just because there's squirrels running around.
Yeah.
You can make an argument for anything though, like that. Like the Rebels, you can make it when anybody's named a devil. You can argue that.
If anybody changes the name from the Bulldogs, I'm gonna get pissed.
The Bulldogs, the Bullfrogs.
Bullfrogs. They should be the Patriots, as far as I'm concerned. But there's nothing wrong with a Bulldog. And if anybody wants to prove me different, I'll fight you in the parking lot. Unless your name's Kelly Pavlik, and then it's off. I mean, Quinn, what's your opinion on the whole situation? Is it slippery slope, or is it?
I mean, it's always a slippery slope, but in NASCAR, in general, I mean, it's a Southern sport. They're all Southern people that follow it mostly. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But, I mean, if you're going to change it, I guess now would be the time to do it.
We talked about it. We can't be hypocrites,
hide
right?
it a little bit now. Yeah. Whereas if you come out a year from now when nothing's going on and do it, then you could restart the whole thing.
You make a really interesting point that the majority of NASCAR fans are from the South. Do you think that this opens the door for NASCAR to eventually try to get more national than they already are?
It's a geographical thing.
Yeah.
It's easier to keep it in the South because roads are easier to maintain, tracks are easier to maintain.
Don't they drive one? There's
have
definitely
one in
one in
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, there's ones up here, but
There's one.
I mean, you got 7, 8 ones, 7, 8 well-known tracks down.
Well, the
south.
weather's better. It's kind of like golf.
It's better. I mean, you don't have to worry about potholes and snow. Like.
By the way, Scotty yesterday was fantastic hitting that. I mean, he drove right past that pothole, no problem.
He did. Smooth.
40-yard dash, 14.38.
What was Anthony's?
17:04.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Anthony, I know he's out there watching, and he put a tweet out that said, I know I got to shave 3 seconds off my time. I can't wait for that race.
Yeah,
personally,
that'd be awesome.
Because there's a little, I don't want to say hatred, but there's a little bit of
it's a rivalry.
It's a rivalry building, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I like it.
Some YSN rivalry.
There was some smack talk, but back and forth, and Anthony, I don't think he could believe his eyes whenever Scotty. I mean, you said he's got like a sport mode on that.
He flipped it into a different gear.
He said, he said he was going to change his tires for the race and all kinds of stuff. Like
Scotty's going to shed weight.
Yeah, like Scotty, he's like, he said he needed the. He was going to be like Tim the Toolman Taylor. He's going to put a different motor on. Like I love it, and that's the other thing is we caught a little bit of heat for that. We are inclusive here, and I make it an absolute point that we are inclusive. We're not trying to make fun or point fingers at and laugh. These guys are fantastic individuals who are part of our team, and because everybody else is doing this 40-yard dash, including Ron Potesta tomorrow.
Oh, he's running tomorrow?
Yeah.
30 a.m.
These guys wanted to be included. So, I know that there's going to be the rubber bullets are going to be flying at YSN because, now they can. Everybody's got an opinion, and everybody, again, social media soapbox. We're inclusive. We want those guys to be just as happy and just as much a part of what we do as everybody else. So hopefully everybody takes it for the good-natured fun that it is. With a world with no sports, we're trying to create, and we're trying to entertain for you. So I hope the majority of people love it.
Oh, yeah.
They absolutely love it. But there's a few people out there that are trying to spoil the punch for everybody else. So
let's have them run 40s, see what they do.
I would love people to run 40s and send them to us.
That'd be awesome.
The haters have them run them.
Yeah,
see how they rank.
I really think that's part of the problem is they think Scotty can probably outrace them.
I'm gonna call out Michael Page. I mean, he keeps commenting, so he sees this. So you go run your 40, Michael, and send it in.
What is he saying?
Oh no, he's
just been commenting the whole show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so he loves YSN. So why don't you join the boat, man? Come on.
We gotta have him in for a power hour.
We do.
Just have him come in. I mean, we're gonna be. For those who don't know, we're gonna be changing the format a little bit. We're gonna be scaling back, starting in July, the first week of July, to a 1 hour. Originally, what it was supposed to be, the YSN Power Hour.
He said hard pass, buddy.
But we're also going to be. Very rarely are we going to be meeting like this anymore. This is going to be, it'll still remain the G. Burbick Farm studio, but it will also be where Ron Potesta does his daily routine. He will be Monday through Friday. We will be Monday through Friday for 1 hour. And we will have a setup virtually to where we'll be able to continue to talk about the world's issues, the sporting issues in the world, condensed into an hour. So it's a little bit more fun, a little bit less real life, I guess I could say that. But we try to make it so we can have special guests on and bring them in via our virtual meeting setting. So be ready for that as we turn. I'm excited. That's what I've wanted the entire time.
Get me and Eric Bailey together because we'll be in Nashville together.
That's fine.
We'll be in on it together. That'll be exciting.
That's fine. I'll put Anthony on. You guys can talk about girls hoops, and I will have nothing to say about it. I enjoy watching it. I have no professionalism or what's the word? I have no dog in the fight. Like, Jen Ricardo's done. I don't know what else to talk about. I don't know. That's as far as I go. Is I know what an impact she had. What are we going to talk about next? Is Corona still a thing?
I don't know, man.
Find out our opinions and chime in. Is Corona still a thing? The YSN hotline, 330-886-0813. We'll get Michael Page to run a 40 when we return.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at bairdbrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
Friday night, it's fresh limousine. I'm feeling pretty good about myself, like I'm living the dream. Platform shoes, strut down the street. It's gonna get hot in here, I hope you can handle the heat.
Over the years, you watched us grow, and as we've grown, so has the Myers Family Insurance team.
Thanks to all of you who have trusted our families to help you with your Medicare needs.
Myers Family Insurance looks forward to helping you now for years to come. So call our family today and remind them how cute we are.
Myers Family Insurance continues to be the area's resource for all your Medicare and retirement needs. Call today, 330-286-3044.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you, split screen and up for you. And on the other side of the table, three of my best friends. It's Richie Giuliano, Tristan Reynolds, and, of course, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the Mountain Dew Warrior, Quinn Pushkar.
There's Dr. Pepper today.
Well, he didn't pick up his cube like he's typically does. Because they go so fast here.
It does.
They go so fast. People sneaking our Mountain Dew and our Dr. Pepper.
Gets into him.
Poe hasn't. He's been drinking water and biting his fingernails on camera, which is. I'm a fingernail biter.
He might not know.
You're not gonna catch me doing this in the middle of a show.
Same. I
It's
bite
gross.
my fingers night and day.
Like I had.
I'm bad to touch my face. I'll always touch my face.
Oh, you're where Corona started.
Yeah, right here. Corona.
Let's talk about that. I know. Let's preface this. Again, this is a show. We know that the severity of Corona, but we also want to say what everybody's thinking. Is it still a thing, or are we past it?
What did they say?
What the scares them?
What did they say? Like right at the beginning, someone came out and said it's going to disappear faster than it came. That was like a quote someone came out with. It was like a doctor or something, and it did.
Well, because there's protests in the streets.
Yeah.
Like that was the crazy thing is after that started, nobody was talking about COVID.
Yeah.
So
like I'm not.
I think it's definitely still around. It's just
I think so.
everything's
I think so too.
overlapping it right now.
But they also said whenever it heated up, that it would dissipate, right?
It would die off.
So why are we still talking about social distancing?
Because they predicted that second wave.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
But if it dies in the heat, dude, it was 93 yesterday.
True.
Yeah.
I ran in that, by the way. Terrible.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Hoodie and
blacktop.
Hoodie
and garbage bag. Don't ever do that.
Garbage bag.
Oh, I wore a hoodie today just because I like the hoodie.
Garbage bag for?
Sweat.
Make you sweat more.
Really?
Yeah, don't be around him when he runs because it
So what do
is
you do, just tie it
stanky.
around?
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, it looks. I just,
There's
make a
magical
hole for the
watching
head
it
and
build
the
it.
arms and just pop it in and chuck it in and just go run and put
Yeah.
a video.
Wait.
No, it's real.
No, it's legit.
It's
What?
real.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do this. Like this is against every orthodox and
I've
health
never even heard of that.
guideline. Yeah, wrestlers
Wait a
do.
minute.
Because your body doesn't breathe.
So you put a garbage bag over your head.
Yeah.
No, not over your head.
No,
You over your body.
You make it like
rip
a shirt.
hole and then you wear like a shirt.
out of it.
No, he's not running around like just a
I was gonna say,
upside down garbage bag.
Yeah. I just want to be able to hold my breath longer, so just wrap it around.
All right.
Anybody else thinking about the Hangover when we were talking about that? No, Tristan will wear a garbage bag when he runs or exercises constantly. He weighs like $1.18 soaking wet. So
I just like, I don't know, it's a weird.
It makes you sweat more.
He's like, I gotta lose weight. I gotta
weird.
lose weight.
I love wearing it. I don't know why.
I gotta lose weight.
I honestly cannot work out without it.
I gotta get down to $116. Like, come on, man. Like yeah. Just I almost made a cheerleading comment, but
So I killed the corona myself.
You did, but you brought it in yourself.
True.
Touching your face.
Believe it.
The UK, I read this morning, the UK is shrinking the social distancing from 6 feet to 3 feet. So they got it.
Normal. 3 feet.
3 feet's normal.
Yeah, 3 feet.
If you're within 3 feet of me, you got bigger problems.
6 feet came from.
Yeah, don't come 2 feet within me. Like
6 feet was like the CDC before this. Like that's how 6 feet came about. There's a movie out there, I believe it's called 6 Feet Apart, and it's like the acceptable social distance that you can have if you are your immune system is weak and things like that. So that's not new. People just assume that there's some rando Calrissian, as I call it, who's out there like, yep, 6 feet, got to stay 6 feet away. No, like that's legit. Right. It's legit. Like just the 6 foot rule is
6.
Yeah, sixes. But that's legit. But I think that we're at a point now. Let's be honest. The majority of people aren't following it anymore. Anyway, do we? There's a CYA to it from the CDC. Cover your ass from the CDC, and they're going to keep it in place. Now, I also read a thing the other day, last night as a matter of fact, that one of the top places that is bad for corona or has the optimal risk is a sports stadium. On a scale of 1 to 10, it was ranked an 8.
Why is that though? Like
because you're next to people.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I guess. Move. Would it be hard though? Like, and it probably is hard. So I probably just answered my own question. Going to a baseball game where is there a way they could just go down and be like, no, let's keep 2 seats in between people?
I think it's going to be hard because there's a way, but you throw everything out the window.
Then you gotta redo the tickets.
The tickets, yeah. Like, how do you sell tickets? Like, your season tickets are here. How do you say, well, you're going to get tickets, but you're not? And that's why the whole thing is like, all right.
Well, it'd be good, like, if you got like an annoying significant other and you go to the game, it's like 2 seats away. You don't know the damn rules. 2 seats away.
Corona!
Get out of here. Get
out of here. When it boils down to it, like, you have to do that all or nothing.
Yeah.
Because people are going to lose their minds if you only invite 15% of the population in to watch a baseball game or a football game. Football especially. You imagine people at the, like, it'll be like Rome is burning.
Yeah, but here's my thing, though. Like, outside of Cleveland, they have Rally Alley. Outside of Pittsburgh, you're going to have these dudes tailgating, and they're going to be closer than this.
The number one place?
The Muni lot in Cleveland's a cesspool.
The number one?
It definitely it started in the Muni lot.
Yeah.
100%.
The number one setting on this list were bars. And I don't necessarily agree with that. Because we're doing exceptionally well, do well during sporting events, but there's bar owners. If you've ever met one, you have to understand that they are some of the most clean people, I guess, is what I'm trying to get out there. They take all the precautions. They have been, this entire time, they take the biggest hit because now they got like the road pops that they're calling them, that they're still allowed to sell.
They want to sell them to go now.
They do. They want that to stay forever. And I don't blame them because you can continue to move people in and out without some of the really crappy patrons that come in that aren't necessarily guys or girls that are regulars, but they come in because they want to start stuff up. I look at you for a second and look away. They want to start stuff up and they want to leave. They want to move on. Now, obviously, as a business owner, you want those people in there, but you also can be like, hey, take this one to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just move
then you get those dudes. So when I think about a bar, I don't think about like a B-Dubs. I don't think about like I guess Chili's that has their own bar. I think of like a bar.
A bar, yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could see
5
that.
booths in a bar.
Even at, a B-Dubs or Chili's, you get those guys that come in after work. Not their fault. They're dirty. They want to have a beer or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just dirty.
Yeah, they are. Some dudes are covered in dirt.
Well, that's what they do. That's their work.
And they're just like, hey, you know what? I don't care. I'm going in. I'm having a drink.
Yeah, because some days, and this isn't me. This is not how I decompress. But some people need that space to kind of space themselves out from work to back where they are a family. You know what I mean? Like, I need a drink or I need
yourself.
Yeah, you gotta calm it down, because usually I'm the guy, like, after a game, like if it's a really bad game for me, I've got a 40-minute drive back home or a 30-minute drive from Scene Park to decompress, so I don't walk in and like take it out on my wife.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what it is. You guys know that if I'm pissed, it's 10 minutes and I'm done. Like, I will be an absolute firecracker for 10 minutes. I'll be the biggest jerk in the world. But after that 10 minutes, we're best friends.
Yeah,
If we survived it, we're good.
Some people you just gotta let them go. Like, I'm one of them. I just like if I'm frustrated, I just go and do my own thing. I don't even want my dog near me.
Ooh, that's saying something, because you love that dog.
I do love him, but like, get the
That's
hell
your
away from
boy.
me, buddy.
Yeah. What do you guys like when you're mad? Like, is it a steady just furnace, or is it a quick burn and you're done?
I get mad.
Is it?
It takes a lot for me to get mad.
Oh, so you're like a blow up type of guy, maybe?
No, I don't blow up. I stew on it.
Pounce.
But I'm different. I like, I'll get mad, but then usually it's basketball that gets me mad. So I'll get mad or whatever, but then I'll watch film and learn from it and try to make everybody better from it. Like, it's.
I pegged you for power. I'm like, Santa Claus doesn't bring you your toy, and you're pissed for a year, and you pout, and you're like, you old bastard. Like, come on down my chimney this year and see what happens.
It takes a lot to get me mad.
Richie, what about you?
I wouldn't say I get like mad anymore. I kind of just get like upset. Like, I'll just
What's the
sit
difference?
there. Well,
Like,
mad's like, when I
frustrated.
think of mad, I think like I'm throwing like fists at the wall. Like, I'm throwing my Xbox controller at the wall.
Break your fist, bro.
But when I think of like upset, I kind of just sit there and I start kind of thinking a little bit.
So
You were upset yesterday. Richie was upset yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I got that call at 3:00 on our way to.
I was upset. I was very upset.
Yeah.
I thought I blew a tire when you did that.
No, I'm trying to. I was on the phone with Coach Mack. Our game got canceled yesterday, which we were supposed to do the Astro Falcons and Team Ohio Pro Select. 3:00, I get a text message. Immediately call back and make sure this is legit. Like, I thought maybe somebody was pulling my chain. Hey, we're going to cancel the game because, I mean, they have players. Team Ohio has players from all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And so the Astro Falcons are primarily Youngstown, but they have some players from outside, like Pittsburgh, Butler, whatever. So they were like, hey, it looks like a storm's coming in. We don't want everybody to come out here and get canceled and have to drive back home. So because it was an exhibition, they were just trying to get ahead of it, which I can appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Was I bummed? 100%. But I knew on the other end of that line, I had to make a call to Richie Giuliano, who was over the moon, made all kinds of changes to his schedule to make sure he could do this game.
Hey, aren't you 0 for 2 right now?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I called Richie and I said, hey, I got some bad news. Oh yeah, what's that? Like, he's like no news is bad right now as long as he's playing or broadcasting baseball. And I said, yeah, they canceled the game. Immediately on the other end of that line was just silence, and I was like, man, I'm really sorry. Like, you try to do everything you can. Like, I felt like I broke up with him, like, honestly. Like, I felt like he took it as like.
I didn't really know what to say, to be honest with you. I was just kind of like.
The sun was shining.
There's like nothing you can say in that situation, though. It's like, gosh, the weather's nice.
When
Like,
when the weather's sunny, I think it's harder to accept that fact because
at the same time, we do live in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah.
But did you? I mean, the storm came through here.
Oh, it
and
came
tore
through.
our shit up.
Oh yeah, it's
straight
it
up.
didn't really hit up by us.
It hit like later at
rained.
night. It rained at like 10 o'clock at
That's about
night. So like when you first called me, I'm like, all right, he's trying to figure out where I'm at, and then
Because I was running late because I was on with Greg Brown yesterday.
so I'm like,
I
all
figured
right,
you were watching, but
yeah,
you don't watch the show.
I watched the show.
I know. Don't get upset now. But
Or punch that wall.
Yeah, don't punch that. If you're gonna do it, punch it right there so we can get a new block. But like from a scale of 1 to 10, you were pretty hot.
I mean, I was upset. I just kind of sat outside and cooled off for a little bit.
Did you eat 100 popsicles?
I did not. We're out of popsicles at home, so
What kind of pop? You like the push-up popsicles?
I like the ones that we have in that freezer.
Richie's already thinking
frozen
2
ice.
steps ahead. Like we
After
sat
the
around
show.
after we had to decompress from your situation, and we all had popsicles.
What kind of popsicles? Like, are they push-up?
You
ones?
got
help
the,
yourself.
yeah, dude.
The scissors are over there. You don't got to use your teeth like.
They're just like the regular, like the $1 popsicles.
Okay, I think I can get on
buy
board.
like
Like
50
100
of
for
them.
$250.
Yeah, I can get on board with those.
Dude, they're legit.
They're good.
fantastic.
The Weiler's ones are the best that we got from Family Dollar.
Oh.
They're probably 17 years old, but they're just
They're so good.
better with age. The Corona thing, we're still on it. I mean, thumbs up, thumbs down. Is this thing still around? Like, do we
I
even
don't
care
think
about
so.
it anymore?
I don't think so, but I don't want to speak on it because it's going to come back if I do.
Yeah, you just kind of push it to the side. Like,
Yeah.
if it's not affecting me, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So, do you think that this thing will honestly affect the future of sports, especially in the fall?
I think it's rolling into the fall. I still think they're going to try to social distance.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
Shouldn't, but no.
What about, let's take a step further. What about the winter?
Nah,
You think it's all going to be gone by the winter?
Should be, yeah.
Well, that it should be, but that's hard to tell too because
never
like
know.
everyone's
It's
in
colder.
the gym.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone's in the gym.
You never know.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's going to be interesting. We're going to take another quick break, pay some bills. We'll be back, and we're going to talk about sports documentaries. Who you'd want to see a sports document about here locally. I've got my opinions and see if you guys agree. Also, we want to hear from you. 330-886-0813. That's 330-886-0813. What sports documentary do you want to see made about a local sports star, coach, or, I don't even know, piece? I don't know. We'll figure it out when we come back here on the YSN Power Hour.
They say American craftsmanship is making a comeback. Of course, at Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, it never went away.
People are floored by Baird Brothers' authentic hardwood floors. They stare at our stairs and adore our doors. Baird Brothers reflects 3 generations of family craftsmanship. Visit our huge in-stock selection in person or at BairdBrothers.com.
Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Myers Family Insurance knows the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is here, so it's all hands on deck to make sure your plan still meets your needs for 2020.
Call us today.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you. Again, 3 of my good friends on the other side of the table. Richie Giuliano. Just,
we've dropped
where the hell did that popsicle go?
Oh, I put it over here. It's not in the shot. I'll stop.
We dropped down a level too. We were best friends last break. We're not best friends anymore.
Boom roasted to
Do you want to be? Yeah, boom roasted.
No, I'm just happy to have fun.
I'm just happy he has friends at all.
Yeah. I don't care what level I'm at.
EB's out there. I don't know if he's on now, but EB's out there.
He's at Open Gym right now.
Oh, okay.
They're having practice. Practice.
Were you not supposed to say that?
Shooting. They're doing a lot of shooting probably.
Everybody's shooting on that gun, man.
Have to.
I saw Coach Comlank shooting on the gun from Warren JFK. Very interesting. Like, I've never seen it before. Like, up live, close in person. Certainly never shot on it. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Come on to Lisbon. We have a pretty cool one.
I didn't like it.
What, are you going today?
Yeah. Come on down. It's pretty cool how ours is. We got one of those newer ones.
What time are you doing
I think 6:30 we'll start. But
Ooh, I'm on WFMJ at 6:40.
I'll be there early. I'm leaving right after here to go down. So
big time.
Come on down.
They asked me that we're going to talk about the future of fall sports. So we're partnered, obviously, with WFMJ. They wanted to have me on Tuesday, but we had the game, so they said, come on Thursday. So I'm excited. Anytime that we can do stuff with WFMJ and vice versa, it just gets me pumped up, you know, because I love what they do. They do a great job covering, and they love what we do. So anytime we can cross brand and really promote that partnership's good. But I'm going to be down.
Come on down. We'll be there probably till 8.
We'll hit up the Lisbon Dairy Queen.
Absolutely.
Proud
What's the
sponsorship
pizza
there too.
you said down there?
Mary's. Have to have it.
I can't.
I was thinking about that the other day.
It's heavy.
Have to try it.
It is
It's
heavy.
heavy.
But
You gotta try
It's
it
good.
at least.
Greasy?
Yes.
Very greasy.
One piece.
Is it thin or thick?
Thick.
Oh, it's thick.
Oh, it's thick.
Okay.
It's very thick.
So is it like a Bruno Brothers type? Where you get the thick?
No, it's thicker. Like
Thicker than
yeah,
that?
it reminds me of Chicago
it's a
style
good pizza.
pizza.
It's a really good
It's
pizza.
like a sweet taste too.
It's
It is.
very
It's sweet sauce.
Yeah.
Very
No,
good.
see, I was just getting over it. Like now
It's
I want
good.
it.
It's-
Now I'm hungry. Now I'm hungry.
You
No,
have
I
to
want
try it. I mean,
We have to take Richie
Gotta
on
try
the tour of Columbiana County because I think he
come on
hasn't
down
been
to
on
Lisbon.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you get
I'll take care of
Pondies.
you in
This
Lisbon.
is honestly like
Pondies.
my first time venturing into this
Shale
territory.
Pondies.
Oh yeah. Well,
Ever since
So
you
so
guys
one of
built
the
this
things
HQ.
before we get into the sports documentary that we all want locally, let's get into some of the best places because this will stir up the conversation online.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. Here in East Palestine on Tuesday, when you come back for our next show,
Okay.
I'm gonna get us all Gorby's subs.
Fantastic.
The best.
Fantastic.
The best.
Never had it.
So you're going to be treated,
fantastic.
right? You're going to tell me what you like on your sub. We're going to get it. I'll make sure it's done up right. You're going to have Gorby subs. Not only are they proud sponsors of the show, good people, fantastic. Just the subs are out of the world. And they don't even hide it. It's like on the sub package. It's like best subs in town.
I like it.
That's like
Gotta have
that's like
confidence.
wearing the championship belt around.
See, like
They're big too, man. Like
Dude, they're good. They're just they're
when
good.
restaurants do that, though, it's like you kind of have to have it. Once you see that on the menu, you're like, I'm having it.
Well, yeah,
You know,
like
I
they
wanna
brought
see
it. Like you know, a guy's a champion even if he's not wearing the belt. Like
Yeah.
Gorby's is wearing the championship belt like to the pool.
Yeah.
They're like, what did you got to say about it?
That's,
You know?
like, that's kind of like Mary's. I mean, everybody talks about it. You got to try it. You have to.
Here's
try
my
it.
thing. Here's my thing. I will fight for Mary's.
Love it or
I,
hate it, you
I'm
gotta
with.
try
I'm
it.
with. And I like Mary's. I like Mary's a lot. And we've had the conversation on post show. Everybody's had the conversation about pizza in Youngstown.
Mm-hmm.
Avalon downtown. You're not going to beat me.
No.
On that. Like it's a game winner.
See,
It's,
I like
it's the
Avalon.
Michael Jordan.
MVR is the best for me.
Avalon, no, it's awesome.
Avalon's right
When
there.
I used to work downtown, we used to get that like every other Friday. It was awesome.
Like I'll fight.
They
Like
have like mac. Don't they have like they have that white sauce and they have like a mac and cheese pizza too or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, mac and cheese pizza.
oh
yeah.
Dude, they have so much. It's
yeah.
good.
Briar Hill. I hate Briar Hill. I
good,
will,
though.
dude. Briar Hill at Avalon
Can't beat it.
can't beat it. Like I will get it. I might order it right now. Just go pick it up. And come back.
Barbecue chicken, buffalo
Oh,
chicken.
barbecue chicken
It's-
is awesome.
It's fantastic.
I love them. I love the people there. The atmosphere is awesome.
Yeah.
The people that own it are fantastic. Ursuline folks, and then my buddy Joey working the bar and working in the back. We did the one time the Yumstown Eats, and we did it at Avalon. And I mean, he's like, take all this food with you. Take all this food with you. They
gotta tell me
prepared
twice.
a ton of
Take
food.
it. I'll take it.
There's something about pizza though, and I really can't pass it up. If you're gonna put all this pizza in front of me, a corner piece from Pizza Joe's with bacon, the bacon pizza.
Bacon pizza?
What's that one? That
From Pizza
Sweet
Joe's.
Honey or
Sweet Honey
whatever?
Hot.
That one.
Pizza Joe's. If you give me a
that.
corner piece though of the bacon pizza, game over.
Well, listen, the wings at Pizza Joe's are a game changer. You talked about the Pizza Hut wing.
Oh, I've been,
Just go straight
taking
for it
it
on that
easy.
one.
I've been taking it easy on his toilet, but oh my god.
But
Jeez.
it's the Pizza Joe's wings are legit. They're huge and they're so good. Like Potesta, wrote to Congress about how good they were. It was incredible. And they take such good care of us when we do our lives on Friday nights and we did the draft. And that's not why their stuff's good.
They're good people though.
I mean, Leonard's he is the GOAT. Like anytime I ever need something, he's like, "What do you need? I'll have it ready for you in 15 minutes." Like that's awesome. Like their pizza is good, and I wasn't a big fan of it.
That sandwich is good too.
But
Whatever
they're
sandwich you get,
if you've
that's
never
good.
Their chicken sandwich is awesome.
if you've never had the
whatever DJ
steak
gets.
hoagie,
Yeah.
steak hoagie straight up with, and Quinn doesn't like the mayo, so he holds the mayo. Just put everything on.
Pizza Joe's?
Pizza Joe's. And it's the patty. Make sure you get the patty.
Yeah.
Got to get the patty.
I got it.
It's like the fair.
I haven't ate
It's like
it.
the
It's
fair.
right here, right?
Yeah.
One right there.
I might go get it on the way home. I haven't ate today.
426, like, it's 330-426-3223. I know, and the only and I've known it since I was 14 years old because it's Shaq Jordan. Right?
How hard is it walking out of the gym down there and smelling that?
It's terrible.
And not because you're hungry. You just worked out, and it's
Well,
just
there's
like,
then there's Iona zones right across the street.
It's so
Like,
hard.
up, let's dial it up.
Yeah, it's terrible because there's Iona zones right across the street, and you got Pizza Joe's right down.
And I always try to justify it. Well, I got this anabolic window. Like, really though, do you? Because you're little.
Go get your chocolate milk.
You're absorbing everything that you
Yeah,
eat.
and that's
It's easy for me to
when you
justify.
run in
I
the
got this
park. Like
belly.
even if you try to hide in the park, you go run, you do your thing. Like the other day when I did that victory lap, dude, I was dying because I ran 2 miles and then all I could smell was Roadhouse.
Oh, yeah, you recommended me to that place.
Oh,
That place
I
was
love it.
great.
And
Their
but,
wings are so
but
good.
there's
You get
like,
you got some food there?
Yeah.
Their wraps
I went there
are-
one time
their wraps
after
are-
I stopped down here, and it was
is
unbelievable. I
there
got a
one
burger.
smell,
wraps are
like
awesome.
one smell at all, like food wise, that if you smell it, hungry or not, you automatically get hungry?
Oh.
Mine's steak.
Steak on the
Hands
grill.
down. Yep, done.
100%.
Yeah,
I get hungry with that Schwebel smell too.
Oh,
That is-
that's a
Gets
good
me hungry.
point.
I hate
That's a good
bread
point.
on it.
I
It's
guess
just-
You don't like bread?
I don't.
anything on
pretzels.
anything on the
Pretzels I'll eat.
anything on the grill. Anything on the grill. That's so. Hamburgers on the grill.
Yeah.
Those are
It
good.
starts to-
Anything on the grill, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Especially
let
at
you
home. Like,
in.
it all comes down to our houses.
Yeah.
Like, where we live, it like comes down. I, don't
I
know
saw
why.
your dad grilling the other day outside, and I was like, oh,
He loves
man.
the grill. I don't know why.
What's
loves it.
What's the top tailgate food for you? Like if you're out tailgating before a game, after a game, sausage.
Has to be. Like cesspool Muni lots sausage.
Sausage is good, but like I
the
gotta
only way
go
can
with
think of it.
again, man.
You're a wings guy.
I do like wings, and I like something easy. It's nice and easy to you know.
Yeah, you just eat it and you're done.
Or a hot dog.
Yeah, I think a hot dog might be
I'm a
mine.
burger guy. If
I'm a
I'm at a
big hot
tailgate lot, I want a burger.
I'm both. I'm honestly a hot dog and a burger.
Well, yeah, like the 4th of July.
I mean, look
Yeah.
at me. I'll eat anything. It don't matter.
I like my chips and my dip though. That's
Yeah.
I love
Nachos
that.
is where it's at.
Yes.
Like our
Yeah.
fail-proof food in our family is if neither one of us feel like cooking, all right, nacho night.
Yeah.
And it's just
I remember we had that
nachos
party
and
for softball
cheese.
one time. You put it in that little crock pot that was a football,
Mm-hmm.
and you put the
Buffalo
meat in there
chicken dip.
too. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Yeah, it's
Buffalo
legit.
chicken dip.
Buffalo chicken dip's good.
Buffalo chicken dip is very, very good.
That can get dangerous
It can.
because then it turns into an arms race of who can eat fastest
Yes.
to get the most in.
Uh-huh.
Right? Richie strikes me
I've
as
been
the kind of
spoiled.
guy that
I was
eats
spoiled in
like
the
4
equipment
times.
Oh, yeah, I can
You're an
hammer.
eater?
You
Oh,
saw
yeah.
the equipment room food, so
Oh yeah, you
I
guys
get
are,
spoiled with that.
you're incredible.
Just send me there with a plate. I'm good.
What I think we're gonna do this fall, and I've been thinking about it, and I think it's if I speak it into existence, we'll do it. I think we're gonna do good tailgates. I think we're
That'd
gonna
be
do
great.
YSN tailgates.
It'd be
That'd be
great.
cool. Like for like a prime time.
Like
game
for
or something?
YSU and stuff like that,
Oh.
we get our own. If fans are allowed, naturally.
Yeah.
But I think we got to start doing tailgates. I'd like to do it for our games, and there's a couple things we're working on that might pan out. But really, our tailgates are when everybody comes back here. You know what I mean? On Friday nights, it is nuts. Like there's Pizza Joe's boxes stacked like 10 high,
Yeah.
and you got to make sure that we got Poe now, so we got to make sure that it's distributed equally because Poe's going to be here while we're all out in the field. So we got to be able to like there will be fist flying if we come
Poe's not
back and
calling
they're-
football?
I don't know. We haven't figured it out yet.
Send them to save the food.
Do you call football?
I do not.
He's my stat guy.
I go with DJ.
He's my
That's
stat
full
guy.
around with DJ.
So we're excited about that. I think tailgate would be awesome, but like 4th of July, like when they go burger or dog, I just say yes. Like yep,
Both.
I usually just say both, yeah.
yeah. I just say yes and
Stack them up.
wherever it flies.
I saw something on Facebook the other day. It was an Olive Garden breadstick cut open with a hot dog in it.
Sign me
Oh,
up.
dude, that would be great.
Sign me up.
I don't
Take
know.
it.
but
I could
that-
eat those as a dinner.
But I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's too.
Breadsticks.
Kill
That's
those
too
breadsticks.
Unbelievable.
That's too strange.
kill
to
those
mix
breadsticks.
They're so good.
It's the only
Nicolini
place I eat
salad
salad. Yep.
is
It's the dressing.
top notch.
That dressing.
Nicolini's is
I don't think I've ever had that yet.
I've only heard good things.
I can eat the entire bowl.
That
Like,
dressing is so good.
we usually have the Class B meetings there, and the chicken francais is what they usually get. And Steve, Leslie, and myself, it tears us up
Their fries are good.
but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Their fries are
Like
really good.
some foods,
I've never heard a bad thing about it.
no, Nicolini's is amazing.
It's good.
There's some foods out there that even though it will clean your clock, you're going in.
That's like Chipotle for me, but I still get it.
Yeah.
I'm so hungry.
I'm the same.
Will this be third lunch?
I haven't eaten today.
What?
I haven't eaten.
You're fasting?
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just hungry.
I'm starving.
Yeah, and that's good that we're talking about food.
Starving.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go to. I'm probably trying that steak hoagie.
Well, let's call it up. We'll take a break here in a little bit. I'll get steak hoagies for everybody. We got an hour to go, so as long as somebody goes and picks it up, we'll give them we'll give them a pub on the show. We'll do the steak hoagies, and you could say on air, good, bad, and different. We'll have a little bit of a.
Come to deliver it. Have them come in.
I don't want to pay extra. I'm cheap.
I'll pay extra for it.
Yeah.
Come in and talk about it.
I'll pay the tip.
Join the power.
That actually wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
No, I'll pay for the delivery fee.
All right, I'll talk to Leonard in the break. We'll talk about sports documentaries that you want locally. I'm excited for this. It's one of those things that just kind of came to me with all the sports docs going on right now. Like, it is sports. It's just documentaries. Everything.
Yeah.
People have more time. They're investing more time, and they want information that's true without having to bury their nose in a book. That's been me since I was 5 years old, by the way. Always watch the movie. So we'll talk about sports documentaries we want to see here locally. I've got one in particular that I really, really am interested in that I can't wait to talk about. So we'll take a quick break. It's 2 o'clock hour, and we'll also have the G. Burbick Farm What's Your Beef? We'll talk about probably more food when we return here on the YSN Power
Stick to the
Hour.
weather.
Hey, my Ohio friends, it's Mike Ditka, and I know great talent and heart when I see it. I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are average real estate agents, then there are true champions. Kelly Warren is one of those champions, and you have it right there in your own backyard. Kelly outmarkets and outsells every agent in the Mahoning Valley. If Kelly can't sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, Kelly will buy it. Get your home sold. Call Kelly Warren today at 717-2689 or go online to kellysold.com and start packing.
You can feel it. Baird Brothers' traditional craftsmanship. You can see it. Baird Brothers' timeless style. And you can afford it. And find everything at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is real hardwood, yet beautifully affordable. Floors, moldings, interior doors, bar rails, and stair parts. All within your means and without a care. Start at BairdBrothers.com. You have made it. Your home.
Teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams. 21
Good evening,
News.
and thank you for joining us.
Let's get right to our top
More
story
experienced reporters
A new Wilmington restaurant.
GM Lordstown.
telling more local stories
We'll look at
Baby boy is recovering from a broken.
around our
Good
valley.
afternoon. We are here in Youngstown, right up.
Because you expect
Important for everyone. No place like home.
more local news.
In Mercer County
before
Court.
they become life-threatening.
21 News is our Valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you. And, of course, I'll say it to your face. Three of my best friends across from me. It is Richie Giuliano, RJ, Tristan Reynolds, and, of course, Quinn Pushkar, the Q. So, guys, let's kick this off. Sports documentaries, super just popular at this point. I mean, especially once the greatest or the Last Dance hit. Everybody's coming out with them now. There's going to be one about Ken Griffey Jr. that I'm excited for. There's one this Sunday about Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. There's all kinds of documentaries out there. I told you the one to really watch is called Screwball on Netflix.
I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Opens up things that maybe we forgot about. Because I think a lot of that stuff, when you watch it, you realize it got swept under the carpet a little bit. So it's interesting. They tell it in an interesting way because they use kids.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's kind of awkward. Yeah, they use kids as like the actors, like the dramatization, right?
Are they like mouthing?
Yeah.
So you ever seen like Drunk History on?
Yes, that's exactly what it's like.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool in that aspect. But
weird
it
watching
takes
kids swear.
Yeah, it takes a second, and like kids injecting. You know, it's kind of. I don't like anybody injecting. Like I can't do the penetration thing, but it's one of those things where can't do it. But it's a great documentary, and like I love watching good documentaries that are true, maybe a little biased, but true nonetheless, because then you get a little bit better understanding of maybe why it happened, even from the the dark side. So let's talk about sports documentaries that maybe we know something about that, if we were talking to somebody at ESPN and they wanted to shake us some commission for bringing this to their attention, that'd be interesting for everybody else. Do you guys have any stories that you'd want to see out there without burning any bridges?
We talked about it off air. I think we brought it up, the Youngstown coaches that are in the NCAA. I think that's insane. You got
just Youngstown coaches in general.
Yeah, you got
would be good.
You got one. He used to be at Kansas. I can't remember. I don't remember his name.
You got Bo.
And then you got Bo. You got the Cleanies. You got the Stoops. You got the.
You got Wolford. You got Mangino.
Yeah, I mean
Mangino's from Steubenville, I think.
It's still that
and
area.
Newcastle, one of those two.
That has such an influence.
Dirk
in the NCAA, and at a high level too. That'd be cool.
I would agree with that. I think what would the plot be? Just everybody's from Youngstown. Are they all in the same tree?
I mean, you can call it like a hidden gem. I mean, Youngstown is a hidden gem for athletes and coaches. I mean, it is a pipeline essentially. You're putting people out left and right, whether they stay there for the whole time before they leave, or you know what I mean.
That's just football too. That's all just football coaches.
Yeah, and
you don't even include the other sports. Yeah. I mean, some of the greatest coaches, in my humble opinion. You're right, Tristan. They're hidden gems. They're right here.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to make that step because there's a loyalty in Youngstown that is unlike any other. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things. Like if you're Youngstown or in the Youngstown area, you represent.
Yeah.
You represent 330, and anywhere if you see a Youngstown State hat or you see anybody, a Cheney sweatshirt or anything, either if you're on the other side of the world, you're like, we're connected.
Yeah. I went to Dover, Delaware for they call it STP. I'm in the reserves. And I went out there for my 90 days. I was out there forever. I was wearing a Youngstown State hoodie. I was at the gym. Guy came up. He's like, Youngstown State. He's like, my cousins live in Niles. He's like, I go to tailgate like twice a year out there. He's like, the atmosphere is crazy, and that's Youngstown State. Like, yes, Youngstown State, like it's a bit, you know what I mean, but it's not as big as like where he was doing. He's like, I don't even remember where he was from, but a bigger school, obviously, I think, but still, you know what I mean. Like you're getting that buzz, and I'm in Dover, Delaware. Like, come on,
dude, Youngstown's everywhere.
Yeah.
Traveling for AAU, like I always wear a YSU hat. It's just everywhere. Everywhere I've gone, somebody has a Youngstown tie. It's unreal.
Do you remember those? This is way off topic. Do you remember those old school hats? There were white hats. You can get them from Lids, and they had just random like teams on them, like the Shockers.
Yeah.
You know, Long Beach State, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember like collecting those and like just rocking them? And they just disappeared.
like the Wichita State one. You talk, yeah.
Yeah, I had the Wichita State Shockers hat.
I don't know what that got to me.
My buddy Berg still has one.
There you go.
Jeff Berger still has one.
Berger still has a Shockers hat. Like
Yeah.
mine was
He
a white
rocks it
hat
sometimes,
with black and gold, and it said Shockers right across it, and it said WSU. You know, you do them for different reasons because they're pop culture, but it just struck me. Like you said, you wear YSU hats. I wear YSU hats not only because I support Youngstown State, but naturally that's the first letter of my last name.
Yeah.
So I rock Y everywhere I go.
Yeah, that stands for
a different sense of pride too, coming from here. No
You
matter
do.
where you go,
There's a chip on the
there's
shoulder.
some pride you have of Youngstown.
There's a chip on the shoulder, especially here in Youngstown. Like we are blue collar.
You're bred different down this way.
You are.
Yeah, I know people that retired to like Florida and they're like living in Palm Beach or whatever. They're just a different sense of pride because they're like, I'm from Youngstown.
I think it's hard, and I haven't done this obviously yet, but I would ask someone that's moved around, is it hard to make that adjustment when you move away? Because you have that chip on your shoulder, and all of a sudden you go to Tampa Bay, to retire, and then everybody's like super sweet and nice, and you're like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, you're ready to go. Like, you trying to steal something? Like, get off my lawn.
You know where I'm from?
yeah, I'm from Yo. Sports documentary for you. I mean, is there anything that stands out to you that you'd really like to see or watch?
I was going to say at first the Pavlanskis and their coaching reigns at different schools and how they went about and how they still contacted each other and maybe even discussed playbooks with each other and things to improve during the season. So I think it'd be cool to see how they coached at different schools. But I also was thinking about the Field of Dreams and a documentary of how it was built, how it's maintained. Yeah, in Boardman.
Do one about Scene too. Do one of those.
That's what I was going to say
Scene
next.
would be awesome.
Do a baseball field documentary in Youngstown because there are quite a few prestigious fields here in Youngstown.
Steve Leslie just talking throughout the doc, narrated by Steve.
Listen, we're not going to do a documentary, but we're definitely going to do something because this is the 25th year of Bob Scene Park.
Yeah.
And we're going to interview some of the people that have been influential along the way. Red Baker is the longest tenured active member that has. He came on the halfway through, I think he said, the first year, and he's been there ever since. So 25 years.
Is that the guy who, like, if you you get too close to the line when you're playing catch, he tells you to get off the line?
Yep.
Get
away from the line.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we're going to do that. So I'm excited that you said that because that was kind of like on the back burner. But we have such a great relationship with the people at Scene Park, and especially the scenes, that it has to be told. The story has to be told, and it has to be told a certain way. Like, it's not something that can be condensed. Like, you just got to let it go. Let people talk. Like, what Red Baker says will probably be, it's going to be the truth, but he's going to say it in such a way that only Red Baker can say it. Steve's in the same boat. And then you got the straight shooters like Scott Work. You'll have Kate Kelly. We're going to try to get the scenes involved in it because...
Are you going to touch on the concession stand too? Because you guys always love that.
Oh, the
chicken. Stop talking about food.
Yeah, chicken wrap's where it's at.
I want to go there for that.
Dude, it's incredible. I don't even care about the game going on. I just want the food.
Sunday, you'll have the late games.
I'll have
the last two. I'll have the first one, and Mike McKenzie will have
Game
the
two.
middle two.
Yeah.
Walker just said, Red is a legend at Scene.
You want to talk about legend at Scene. Every time Aaron Walker walks through those pipes, my man gets the red carpet rolled out.
Oh, now his head's even bigger, man.
But it's true. A-Dub, whenever he goes to Scene Park, it is like Red sees him and calls out he's still one of the, I think one of the best strikeout games ever at Scene Park. So A-Dub loves it. Oh.
That up there.
We have the Aaron Walker trading card.
See if we can see it.
Not autographed though. We
you
got
see
the
it in
autographed
there?
baseball. Yeah, we can see it. Hold it up a little closer. Everybody can get a good look at A-Dub.
There he is.
The southpaw from the south side of East Palestine.
That's a legend.
Aaron Walker. One of my good friends. I mean, I know he's good friends with you too. Like, one of the most humble cats there is.
I know.
Out there.
I know.
You know?
He
He talks a good game.
And yeah, he don't like talk about how, his success. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to.
You wouldn't know it if you met him. Like, if you met him at a barbecue, you would never know
Trash at
what he
softball,
went
but
through.
I put a baseball in his hand, he can play.
I don't think. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I don't think he's ever went yard on me.
I don't think so either. He's probably popped it up.
Popped it up to the first baseman.
I'm waiting for my comment.
He's washed up now. He says.
Oh, I'm not.
I probably still wouldn't want to catch one of his fastballs.
Oh heck no!
Like,
I did see him turn on one though.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking softball wise.
Yeah.
It hasn't landed yet.
No, no. And let's just put this out there. He didn't hit. He was a PO. He was a pitcher.
I mean, yeah.
So my man's hitting softballs to the moon, and
Moonshots.
they didn't even let him swing the bat. So, but he hasn't hit a home run for me. So, and he's not going to because I'm retired. What about you, Q? I mean, is there a documentary you'd want to see out there?
I mean, there's a couple that I could think of. Like, I mean, football-wise, I wouldn't mind seeing one about, like, Mooney Ursuline, stuff like that.
That'd be a good one.
I mean, if you do that, you'd have to talk about, well, you wouldn't have to, I guess, but, like, you'd bring in St. Ignatius and St. Ed's, that battle, just because it's the same thing, like the Holy War. I mean, stuff like that would be cool. A little bit further out, talk about, like, Madison, Washington. Would be cool. I wouldn't mind seeing one of those, but then
Don't
they
they
have
already
Friday
have
Night
one?
Lights.
Isn't it called Tiger? Or
They got like Friday Night Lights and all that stuff. Harding football. Talk about that because they produce a lot. And
well, yeah. What Manningham?
It'd be cool. Manningham, Boom Heron, Lynn Bowden.
Boom Heron. I forgot about Bowden. And
Claret, obviously Claret. Yeah. I mean, they've produced a lot, so that'd be kind of cool. And just talk about the state championships from here in all sports. I mean. You get one of the best softball teams in the state, obviously, and champion. You get great baseball.
That'd be a fantastic.
One I would like to see, like high school wise, around here, and I think about it because you talked about baseball fields, and I instantly thought about it. Is South Range. They used to play at Green Beaver Field. You remember those fields out there? Terrible fields. And then just the progression, not just as sports, just as a school in general.
As a community.
They are a powerhouse now. And where they have grown. So, I mean, they were always, good, but they have grown so much. And they have one of the best baseball fields that's at that they actually play. You know what I mean?
It's actually at their site.
And it's awesome. So that'd be an awesome one.
I mean, I'm all on board with the coaches one. I think that'd be awesome.
I'm on board with that too. I really like the idea of the champion one. I also think that it'd be interesting to do a documentary right now just on the kind of where the seniors are, like.
Just to get their emotions.
Like I took one look at the picture yesterday from Poland. Poland was one step away from winning their own state championship, or two. I forget. They were close, and they were hungry. The girls softball team to get back and win it. And for my money, you're not going to tell me that they couldn't have. So, champion, yes, they were robbed because that freshman class, starting with them, they won championships every single year, and now they didn't get to defend their title.
What's in the water down there? We should do a documentary on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the one. I mean, because the 1 year they won baseball and softball.
Yeah. Oh man, and you know what? This year they could have, baseball wise, they were good.
Yep. And if I've heard from many that this could have been another trip for South Range to the state championships. If everything would have lined up the way they wanted to. Because the way the baseball works is they switch the sites and they switch the way things line up in the playoffs. And this would have been similar to 2 years ago when they actually did win it. So there's nobody, I mean, there's a lot of people the same way Cheney. Nobody's ever going to say that Akron St. V's beat them.
Talk about Cheney coming back.
Oh,
I mean, awesome. We got great sports. I mean,
we do, and I think it'd be
St. V's basketball. I
think it'd be St. V's. They kind of already told the story with LeBron's thing. Which
you told LeBron's story, like post LeBron. But what is still good basketball from St. V's?
Well, it's still good basketball, but it's like doesn't have that headliner.
Well, anywhere. Anywhere.
The most
LeBron went,
impressive
thing
is the coach is still there. Drew Joyce is still there, correct?
I don't know if Drew Joyce is still there.
He's not?
I don't know if he is. He might have retired. I don't know if he's actually there.
Oh, I thought he was.
I know his son is a coach now.
Okay.
Drew Joyce the third.
The one that LeBron played
The one that LeBron played with. He was an assistant at Cleveland State. I do know that. I don't know about Drew Joyce. But I do. I have my one documentary. I just thought of it.
Okay.
Berlin Highland girls basketball. It's not this area, but it's Berlin Highland girls basketball.
I don't even know what that is.
Millersburg. They're, for anybody that doesn't know, they are an absolute powerhouse in girls basketball. Past 20-some years, they're almost always in the state finals. They're just an absolute juggernaut.
I'm going to have to look this up because the only person that
South
would know
Range
it other
would've
than
played
you
him.
would be Anthony.
Yeah, South Range would have ran into him.
That's the
most
one he
likely.
always talks about, Berlin Highland.
Berlin
now that I
Highland
think about it.
is
Okay.
an absolute juggernaut in girls basketball, and I would love to see one about that.
Paul Munson chiming in right now. NASCAR, about 2 hours late. NASCAR tried to ban it once
He
in
just got done with his 40.
2015.
Yeah. He's about as quick as a 40 on that.
But a bunch of pushback. Okay. I mean, I can see that. You know, timing's everything, right?
Well, that's what Michael Pitt, he said something. He's like, they tried to do it before, and then now they like this just seems like an avenue to take.
Yeah, it's the right time for them to push it. So interesting. For my sports documentary, someone that I was hoping, he agreed to come in. He's not here. I'm not going to call him out, and he's a busy guy. His name's Kelly Pavlik, a friend of mine, friend of the shows, and also a former world champion. And Tristan probably just pooped a little bit.
Nah, I'm still his Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah.
If you bring in that part too, that'd be even better.
that would be the ending of the documentary. But I mean, Kelly's been through so much. I mean, one of the stories that I heard early on when we started these talk shows on YSN was how much he loved the game of baseball. And Mike Cifaldi, who is going to be an interview of ours here from baseball, from Scene Park, because he's the manager of Roth Brothers. He tells a story that Kelly was so emotional that he couldn't go to a baseball game because he had to go to practice, boxing practice, and go get his rounds in. How much he had to give up, and people don't realize this because of the success. We talked about being successful and the sacrifice that you have to provide. Like, people don't realize how much you have to give to be so great at a craft that you have to give up other aspects of your life, like hanging out with your friends. Sometimes you have to give up friends. Sometimes you have to give up family.
You coached him, I believe, JT Miller.
Miller,
He had to go homeschool. Yep. And he made it to the show. And, NHL, he made it. But he had to essentially drop out of school to pursue. Because
he needed, he had to line things up the way that he needed because he was legitimately an NHL prospect.
Yeah.
And
you're leaving all your friends behind at 16 years old.
Like, could you drop that? Like, could you drop baseball to be a boxer? Like
I couldn't do it at 16 years old. I would never ask anybody to do it at 16 years old. I wasn't not that Kelly's mature, because he's not. But he's
put a lot of trust in whoever's telling you, hey, you got to take this out.
There's a lot of things.
You
like,
put a lot of trust in that.
Parents, for the most part, want you to be as diverse as possible until you find what you're really good at, and then you make your decision. And we call that nowadays, that we got fancy terms for everything. We call it specialization, right? So when you specialize, kids nowadays, when I was in school, I wasn't allowed to specialize until I was a junior in high school. My parents said, if you don't want to play football anymore, if you don't want to do this, that's fine. You can do baseball, because they're going to put all their eggs in the baseball basket and move forward. Kids now are, and this is a completely separate topic, kids now they're asking them to do it at 10 years old. Like, you don't know what you want to do 10 minutes from now when you're 10 years old. Like, part of you wants to go eat jelly beans, or popsicles. Yep. The other part of you wants to play Xbox. The other part of you wants to go out and play basketball with your friends or wiffle ball.
See, I'm all about, like, if the kid is fully invested, go ahead, do what you got to do. Maybe even at 10 years old, that's still pushing it. But I don't like to see, and as a coach and being around the games, you see these kids get burnt out. And they're absolute studs. They should be playing, but they're not, because they are just burnt out. And that's what...
The problem now is, you talk about this, and then we'll go back to the Kelly documentary, but you make that decision at 10. You stop playing all sports but one, let's say. When you get to be 16, 17, and you are burnt out, and you're like, man, I really liked playing basketball, or I really like playing baseball or football, you're so far behind with the mechanics and the lingo and just the friendships and partnerships that you make along the way.
Take a year off of a sport, it's almost impossible.
Nowadays it is.
It is. It's hard.
Nowadays it is. But when you are a junior and you decide, you make a conscious decision, you're like, listen, I'm the 4th string punter. I stink at football, but I can throw 95. I'm a lefty. I'm going to focus on baseball. Your parents probably go, yes, we can live with that.
Yeah.
You know, but at 10 years old, I'm sorry, getting behind any kid that wants to specialize at 10, even 12 years old, I think you got to be able to drive a car before you can specialize. You know what I mean? That's my personal opinion as a parent. But you look at it and you go, man, you've got to make sure that you are in everything you can that you enjoy spending, because there's different muscle groups that you're using.
Yep.
You're learning how
There's
to
more
use your
options, though,
mind.
too.
You're not.
There's a lot more options out there.
Being developed at 10 years, you're not developed at 10 years old.
No, you're not developed at 18.
So when you start moving, and like you said, you start getting, you grow. You never know what your body's gonna do. You can't predict that. So it does. It takes. It will take a toll on you. Something that you're used to being able to do at 10, you're not gonna be able to do at 13. You know, just as an example. So.
But like, there's all those options.
Like I used to like green beans when I was 10. I don't eat them now.
Because you are a green bean.
You gotta think though, like basketball, there's AAU year round to play. There's leagues in the fall, then you got your school league and all that stuff. Baseball, you got Class B and all those other leagues.
So let me ask you this,
spring ball, God knows what else.
I'm gonna put you on the spot because I can't fire you for saying this, but you can represent all
Well,
the
you can
AAU
fire me
coaches
whenever you want.
But here's. Do you feel that there is a false narrative out there for coaches that are basketball and AAU, that there's greed, that you don't want them to play any other sports because
there's greed everywhere?
What are your personal feelings? Like if a kid comes up to you and says, "Listen, I want to play for you, Coach Q, but I also throw 95 and I want to play baseball. My parents want me to play baseball too."
Listen, you find me a girl that's throwing 95 on softball, I'm all in on softball. I'll push you right to softball.
If you're a baseball coach.
I mean,
or I'm sorry, a boys basketball coach.
That's tough
because you know how they recruit.
Yeah, no, I do.
The kids are doing this; they're paying out.
At the end of the day, yeah, you pay for it. But I'm one that's gonna help you do both. Like I'll make sure you can do both. That's a
good answer.
Can we preface this and say it depends how good the kid is?
It also depends on how good the kid is. I mean, if a kid comes to me and tells me he's throwing 95, being a sports guy, I know that your future's baseball.
So let me ask you this:
you throw 95, you're going baseball.
If there's a kid, all right, let's say he's throwing 70 as a 12-year-old.
Is that
which is like 95?
Is that good? Is that
yeah,
good?
So it's like 95.
Yeah,
but then, he's also splashing 80% from beyond the arc, and you have to compete for his time.
I'm going to tell him to do both.
You're going to tell him to do both.
In this area, I'm going to tell you to do both. You're going to play 10 baseball.
Do you
games.
feel like you're one of the few that would do that?
Yes and no.
Don't you
it's
sit
both.
on the fence,
It's both.
devil.
No, it's both because I know there's some programs in AAU that they're juggernauts. It's just how it is. So if they call you, you're one of the better people, and you're getting that call. You got to take that call. Being where we are, we try to make everything work for both. Like that's just how we do it. We want you to do both. We want you to play both. We don't want you to specialize.
So if you got,
I don't want you to specialize.
If you've got a D1 volleyball prospect in your organization, and she's 6 foot tall, 6'1", can jump out of the gym, and is a primetime player for you and
I'm
your
greedy as
organization.
hell. I'm going to make sure she plays for me.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to make sure that if she's legitimately getting recruited like that, I'm going to make her.
We're not trying to put you on the hot seat. I
No,
promise.
I'm legitimately I'm going to make sure that you can do both. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure you do both.
Do you ever have parents come up to you and be like, plead your case?
Yeah, all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Like between one sport and another?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I just tell them what I can do. Like, if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it.
Do you feel like they're setting you up sometimes? Like
all the time.
Like
they put it on a tee. They're
all the time.
trying to trap you.
Yeah.
You get it all the time.
I forgot you were AAU coach too.
All the time.
I did baseball and AAU at the same time. I'll never do that again.
It's got to be.
It was terrible.
The only thing being interesting to do is AAU because we're going to tell you what we're going to do. We're going to tell you where we're going to go. We're going to tell you who you're going to be in front of. I mean, I'll tell you who I have connections with and be like, hey, I can possibly put you in front of these coaches for basketball. what happens is on you guys. I'm not gonna. I can't give you a scholarship. I'm an AAU coach, but I can tell you who I'm in front of and who I'll put you in front of, and if it's good enough, then great. If it's not, is what it is. I'll find somebody else that can do what you do.
We got the juice chiming in from Y-Town. Tommy Otto, specialization is the worst thing that has ever happened to sports. I agree and disagree at the same time.
Yes, I had this kid. It was JV baseball. I can't remember. He said, "Coach, you know what? I'm not playing next." And he was a good baseball player. He's like, "Coach, I'm not playing next year." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. But what are your plans?" Like, I was just honestly concerned. What are your plans? Well, I think I'm just gonna focus on basketball. And at that time, you know, I said, let's just break it down real quick. Like, let's just look at an average D3 point guard. 6 foot maybe, right around there, 6'1".
Yeah, right.
But you're like 5'11", and you're a post.
Yeah.
In this area, like, so why not play them all and then try to find? If you could still have that success, play them all. Play them all. I mean, don't play them all just because your buddies.
Play the ones you like.
It's different.
Yes.
Like for us, it's different in AAU. Like, you don't play baseball up here. You can't. Like when AAU season is, it's March, April, beginning of May. You're gonna get rained out and snowed out half the time.
What?
You do. We run into it all the time. From AAU perspective, from me, my team.
Pitch this again.
My AAU team, the girls that played softball, played with me full time because they just didn't get games. They didn't. Their games were snowed out and rained out when I played last year.
What the heck was that?
I think we're all gonna die. Is anybody else here the Halloween theme?
Was
that the
Is
delivery?
it?
Was that Jason?
Oh yeah, we need to get that. Go get the pizza. It was Jason. It was.
Holy moly!
I shouldn't say pizza. It's our Pizza Joe's.
I mean, if you get rained, you're gonna get rained
The
out.
first
sometimes.
week
Fields
of the
are
season
wet
is
and
tough.
stuff. Like
The first week is tough.
When I ran into it, we had 4 or 5 tournaments done before they even went on the field.
Yeah.
Like
2 years ago, we had like 11 games canceled.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Play both. Play both. If you're in this area, play both.
I think if you're in any area, play both. Unless you're unless you're head and shoulders way better, and you know that you're gonna get paid.
There's a lot of coaches that'll make sure you can do both.
You
They will work. They will work.
Your recruiting coach goes and watch you play other sports.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at
Because
Antonio
they want to
Gates.
see your
Antonio Gates
athleticism.
played basketball.
I saw you dunk a basketball. I know you can climb that wall.
Yeah.
You know, one of those things.
That's how my good buddy got a scholarship. He got a scholarship by Bo because he dunked a basketball
And I think that's
in Arizona.
important. And I think that's what people don't realize is how tough it is on kids sometimes to make that sacrifice, and they go, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to focus in on this. But we also, whenever there's great success in that sacrifice, and they actually do come out the other side as a world champion like Kelly did, like we started this conversation about his documentary, people don't realize that, like, he gave up a lot. He gave up being a young, immature, person to be the person that everybody wanted to be so early in life. And it's
How good was he
tough.
at baseball?
I imagine he's pretty damn good.
From what I've heard, yeah.
I mean, the hand-eye coordination you have to have for boxing by itself is I mean, if there's somebody that's going to know, it's going to be Cifaldi and it's going to be Coach Otto. Those guys saw him from an early age. I mean, you look at it and you go, wow, I hear so many times people talk about Kelly and the decisions he's made after he won the championship. And then you realize, like, he never got to be a 21-year-old.
Nope.
He never got to be the guy that makes bad decisions.
Yeah.
Not in the public eye, because he was in the public eye all the time, because he's out fighting, for championships. And that's it. And people give him a bad time and a bad rap for that, instead of being like, now, wait a minute. What were the dumb things I was doing as a 21-year-old that if anybody else knew this, if I had a world title strapped around my waist, like that would have been anybody. I mean,
Absolutely.
there's very few people. My wife is one of the very few people that I know that doesn't make very stupid mistakes or has stories to share. Like when we're all around a campfire, we're all talking about dumb stuff that we've done. She just sits there and looks at everybody, and she's like, "Hey, Sarah, you have any stories?"
Very judgmental, I feel like.
She's not judgmental.
No,
She's
you
not
did
at all.
this.
She loves the stories that people tell. She just doesn't have them. Oh, Siri wants to chime in again. She just doesn't have any of those stories, and she's heard all my stories 50 times, and she'll tell you that, oh, here we go, another one. Especially when I get with my one friend.
Well, speaking of campfires, remember Rick flaring me in the chest? Boom. I was all bruised.
I do.
Siri again.
All bruised.
She's saying go pick up our things Quinn. Would you go pick it up?
Why do I have to?
I'll pick it up.
Because I'm the fat kid. I get it.
Richie's gonna go get it.
I'll go
No,
get it.
Richie,
I can go. It's fine.
don't cry about it.
I'm not crying about it. It just might be eaten by the time I get back.
Better not eat mine. We ordered 4 of them, so go. We've only got 20 minutes left. We're trying to get a promotion for Pizza Joe's.
It takes me a while to get up. I'm old, man.
Just talking to a 70-year-old some days. It really is. But yeah, I think a documentary on Kelly would be
awesome.
phenomenal because telling what's real, what he's gone through. Because why I love him is if you sit down and you talk with him, he'll tell you exactly how he feels. And I wish that there were more people that would get that Kelly Pavlik out there. He's an awesome dude. He really is, and he'll tell you some great stories that I won't share because they're not mine.
Yeah.
But
the Affliction at the time, when it still kind of is, it's a huge brand. He had his own shirt that said "The Ghost." Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I should have wore that today. Damn.
I have one, I think.
I'm gonna wear it someday. I'm gonna wear it in here.
It says "The Ghost."
I'm gonna look like a complete d-bag because
I'll rock mine too.
That look is so gone. It's ridiculous. Like,
I'll make sure to gel my hair and wear my Jersey Shore necklace too.
You gonna do it?
Yeah.
What day are you coming in as McGregor? You got to come in with the tribute to Conor McGregor.
I will. I gotta get my
drinking.
I gotta get my 2 little belts.
2 little
some
belts.
proper 12.
That'd be awesome.
I honestly think going back to like Kelly Pavlik, I think they should cover his younger years if they did a documentary on that, because I saw an article this morning when I was reading up on him, because I obviously didn't get to live during that time or see during that time when he was fighting, but
you're a puppy.
Yeah, I was obviously young, so I was looking up, and he told one of the guys who was interviewing him that it took him like 5 or 6 years for the national media to actually recognize who he was and to get the proper attention that he deserved after winning fights. So I think it'd be interesting for them to cover during his like amateur years when he was winning and knocking out all those boxers during
He had all
time.
that hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you. I think that'd be phenomenal. I think the other thing with it is, how do I put this lately? If it would have to be almost candid, because Kelly is off the cuff. Like, he can be super professional. He's learned all of that through what he's gone through.
Yeah.
But the best would be, like, there's a stigma that he carries, that we all carry, because we're from this area, that we're being disrespected because if a fighter's from Las Vegas, and then the other side of the corner is this kid from Youngstown.
They're like, who the hell is Youngstown?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they look at him and the best boxers were big, thick guys with great uppercuts, and you got this long, gangly, crazy-looking kid with one tattoo in the corner when he first started out, with a ghost on his shoulder, and he's whipping ass.
Yeah,
like he's
I remember
like
the
stone cold.
I remember the Jermaine Taylor fight. I think he got knocked down by Jermaine Taylor and got back up, and you saw Jermaine Taylor's face, like, oh my gosh, I'm in for a dogfight now.
Yeah, because he is not. He was the perfect representation of Youngstown.
Oh yeah,
still is. That he's not going to give up.
No.
Like you're going to have to literally knock him out twice, and then make sure you bury the shovel when you bury him, because
he'll undig himself. Yeah, for sure.
He's unbelievable, and that's the mentality that. Honestly, when I looked at that, when I was 21, maybe 22 when he won. I watched it with Stan Boney at Bill Castrovince's house. We were taping it so we could take it back and deliver it to Bob Hannon if he won the fight, when he won the fight. And I felt like anything was possible. Like, after Kevin Garnett won for the Celtics and he yelled out, "Anything is possible!" Like, that's how I felt when Kelly Pavlik won the world championship, because this dude that, grew up down the street was a world champion, and he was bringing it back to Youngstown, not Cleveland, not Pittsburgh, Youngstown. So when he did it, I was like, dude, we can do anything. Like, let's go. Like, let's do this. And that kind of started my mentality of, you're not going to tell me who I can or can't be, or anybody in this room, who they can or can't be because of the size. I mean, we're all dogs.
Yeah.
We're all dog fights. So I'm excited. I would love to see that. I think if ESPN picked that up, it would be a gold star for them.
Oh, absolutely.
Is there any other ones out there right now that you'd want to see that haven't been done? Professionally, across the country. Like, there's got to be some out there that you're like, I wonder what happened when they did this.
I'd like to see one on LeBron's whole time with the Cavs, because I just want to see what the hell was going on.
Did they do any behind-the-scene footage?
I don't know if they did, but that would be cool, because all that time, he never won. You know what I mean? Before he left for Miami, I'd like to see what.
Can you imagine if that actually happened?
Yeah,
like, there's got to be backstage footage.
There has to be. Like, what happened that whole time?
I just want to see if it's legit. And every story I've heard is yes. Like, he knew he was done when he walked off that floor. It was after the Celtics?
Yeah.
Ripped his jersey off. Like, that to me, it sucks for him. Not that I'm anybody. But that's my lasting impression of who LeBron James is.
And I've heard stories, like, I heard a story, like, right after that game, he made a call to Derrick Rose. It was like, hey, you know, well, you know what I mean? You hear, I just want to know what happened in that time frame with him and Cleveland that first stint. I want to know.
I don't.
Whether it was, you know, him not getting the players he needed, maybe him just not. Him and his relationship with Gilbert, I want to see.
Oh, that's bad.
I want to see.
Oh, they won't talk.
That.
They won't even be in the same room.
So.
They won't talk.
Like, yeah, that's. I know that's bad from some people that are there.
Yeah.
But
wouldn't it be interesting just to find out?
Oh, absolutely. Because, and it'll never happen.
No, but.
Because, you know why? Because it would damage his reputation so much.
Yeah.
It would be a huge blemish on what he's trying to be as the GOAT.
Yeah.
Right? But.
Unless he spins it completely on Gilbert.
Even then?
He could spin it.
How do you spin ripping off your jersey and throw it? Like,
he could spin it. There's ways to spin it.
There's only so many.
If it does come out like you just said, I didn't think about this. It could be Cavs players and Dan Gilbert talking about what happened and LeBron refusing to chime in. That could always be an option.
I have heard that there's not a whole lot of people from that era that have good feelings or relations with LeBron other than Z.
Yeah. I remember when he came back with Miami. He came back with Miami, and that guy in the parking garage, like, because LeBron was trying to bring all his friends in, families. He's like, nah, dude, you don't play here no more. Just you. Tell them all to kick rocks, go somewhere else.
And that's what Quinn, you and I have had this discussion unbelievable amount of times. But I feel like everybody in Cleveland gave this dude a pass twice. You know, they gave him a pass because he came back. Okay, I get it. He showed loyalty.
I'll admit I gave him a pass. I'm a LeBron fan. Like, yeah, if LeBron comes, you just take LeBron. You just take him. That's my opinion.
Right, but then when he leaves, like, people are still praising him up and down. Like, I'm not going to criticize because listen, I got a Heat jersey. Yeah. I got a Heat LeBron jersey. I don't have a Lakers jersey because
I do.
I look at it and I go, no, man. Nice. You bet on us once. If you leave twice, like, don't come back here.
Yeah.
I get it. You brought us a championship, and that's. But how long till that championship fades and people go, all right, dude, you totally pulled the wool over our eyes when you left.
Will he ever end back up in Cleveland just for like a retirement thing?
If Bronny is.
His jersey's gonna get retired.
Oh, his jersey.
His jersey.
It's gonna
be retired. It's gonna be retired in Miami too.
It'll be retired.
Here's my issue. My underlying issue with LeBron James is when he changed over to 6. Okay.
That was a super villain. I loved it.
He said he changed to 6 because 23 should never be worn again because the greatest player of all time wears that jersey. Those were his words, not mine. His words.
Notice he never said a name, though. He never said Michael. Because in his mind, he can believe it's him.
Shut up.
Tell me that you wouldn't believe LeBron would do that.
No, you're probably right.
Exactly.
But no, I think he did say Michael Jordan. As a matter of fact,
I don't think he ever said.
I'll look it up.
He ever said Michael.
We'll talk about it on Tuesday. But
he definitely stared him down though when he played in Charlotte in the playoffs, and it was fantastic.
That's fine.
I loved it.
That's fine. You love LeBron regardless. Like you have LeBron James underwear.
Greatness.
What's that?
He's great. One of the best players ever.
He's already backed down a little bit.
Because no matter what I say, you're never going to agree that LeBron is better than Michael, just like I'll never agree Michael's better than LeBron.
That's fine. I mean, if you're okay with being wrong in your everyday life, that's
same with you.
To each their own.
It's okay.
I don't think LeBron or Michael's ever been like, yeah, LeBron passed me. Like, it's never happened.
No, but at the same time, if we were chasing for something, you wouldn't admit that either.
No, I think there's a, like...
There's got to be a level of respect.
I listened to, who was it? It was it wasn't Dr. J. Who the hell was it?
Magic said it.
No, it was one of the old school. The Bill Russell maybe. No, who's the other?
Bill Walton.
No, it wasn't Walton.
Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. That's who it was. Wilt Chamberlain was one of the most cocky, arrogant dudes ever. Like he still says that
I
he
hate
can.
that stupid. Well, he doesn't now because he's dead. But I hate that saying. They changed the game because of me. Well, yeah, because you're 7 foot playing against 6'2".
Well,
yeah, you're gonna get the rules changed.
When he's saying that he could beat these dudes now, I was like,
come out from the grave.
Shaq right now?
Shaq could.
Right now.
Shaq can play average probably 20 in the
right
listen,
now.
Yes.
if you put Shaq in his prime against Wilt Chamberlain in his prime, Shaq wins.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm saying Shaq right now could not go to
Shaq right
the league.
now could play in the
Shaq can barely get a haircut without breaking a sweat.
Shaq, he gets up to, like, talk to Chuck, and he starts sweating profusely.
Yeah.
The NBA is soft.
Let's
Shaq
make the transition, because we got about 10 minutes left, to our G. Burritt Farms What's Your Beef? Anybody want to start it off?
Weather.
The weatherman.
The weather.
Yeah, you are angry at me.
Meteorologist Richie.
You've turned into the Ron Potesta of Class B baseball. We just don't play when you're part
ridiculous.
of it. I should have known. I've been like, hey guys, Richie's really not coming, and just snuck you into the car.
Yeah.
They'd be like, yeah, we're playing. We're in. I mean, what's the issue there? Like, you just don't get
can't catch a
along
break.
with the meteorologist here?
I'm taking weather right now for my summer class. I hate it. So it probably knows that I hate it. So now
it's
making me pay. Yeah, it is miserable.
Did you were you eye on weather last night?
I mean, it was sunny.
Did they make you weather spot in this class? They made us weather spot. We had to weather spot.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
Weather labs and stuff.
I mean, I was looking at it and I was like, it kept going down. Like it started off at 80%, right, up in East Lake, and I'm like, that's not looking good. Then it went down to 60. I'm like, all right, it's clear skies. It's probably just, another missed forecast. And then I get the call, and I'm like, well, that just sucks.
You would have swore that I ran over Richie's dog. You would have swore.
Oh, it stinks.
And I felt like I broke up with him after we were done talking. Like I felt like I needed to send him roses or something and be like, I'm sorry, honey, it's gonna be okay. Quinn, what's your beef right now? Don't say you don't have one.
I honestly, I don't have one. My beef is that I'm hungry. That's it.
You got that
I'm hangry
delicious patty of meat
I know.
sitting over there
and
for
I didn't
you.
feel like being mean and sit there and eat while all of you kept calling the show.
We would have killed you. Tris, what do you got?
My beef is I'm finally in realization that I'm getting old and my body can't handle it. Like today, I might have to take a day off. I'm about 30 miles already this week, and my legs are just mush.
Who wants to see Tristan run the 40 today?
I got flip flops on. I'll run it on. I'll run it on Tuesday. I'll bring it and run it on Tuesday.
Tuesday, you got it. Tomorrow, Potesta's going to run the 40. We'll have that posted before his show. Excited for that. What's my beef? My beef is just people in general, man. Let's look out for each other for once. Honestly, let's just look out for each other. Not we're not going to make it a racial thing. We're not going to make it a I'm better than you thing. We're all people. Let's just take care of people. Everybody love everybody, Jackie Moon style, and let's just play some sports. At the end of the day, that's what takes our eye off the ball sometimes to do the things and make way for the things that are most important in life. And let's get handshakes back. It is weird watching a baseball game with no handshakes.
I know, man.
I don't like it.
But playing softball, no one abided by it. We were hugging. That you know what I mean?
Dude, you're right. Once you were done, it was let's talk about it.
Yep.
Except if you were me and there was issues.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't let things go. But but yeah, I mean let's do this for our future generations, for our kids, for our kids' kids, and let's just hug each other out. Let's hug it out and understand each other. Let's listen to what each other has to say, and then let's go from there. But I think it's time that America decides that we're the United States of America and not the divided states of America. So that's my beef, and hopefully we can all come together. Not that a sportscaster from East Palestine, Ohio is going to make a bit of difference, but if you're out there, just tell somebody you love them, because you never know when it's going to be the last time you see them, and you don't want to end on bad terms. So that's my G. Burbick Farm. What's your beef? It's gburbickfarms.com. Their farm to your freezer. Make sure you tell Greg that we sent you. Got 6 pounds of ground beef yesterday.
Ooh,
and I'm ready to go. after I took that hard right when I was chasing you to Canfield. Because I was like, I'm right next to New Buffalo. I have a great friend over in New Buffalo Road named Greg Burbick, who owns G. Burbick Farms. I need to go pick up some meat and some beef jerky. So that's what I did. And I'll tell you what, it's all the difference in the world. If you're looking to change up your diet, if you're looking for the best kind of beef to put on the dinner table for your family that is completely tracked from the time that it's mooing to the time that you're sticking a fork in it, you need to go to G. Burbick Farms, and it is the best. I'm not even joking. It'll change the way you eat in your dinner habits and the way that you consume on the dinner table. So everything from chicken to beef. What's the other one? Pork. Yeah, that too. So make sure I always get them confused because I want to get poultry in there, but I realize poultry's chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken.
So I don't want to be from the redundancy partner. Redundancy. Screw it. I'm not. That will do it for our show. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. 12 to 3 on the Running Point with Ron Potesta and Anthony Hartwig. Tonight I'll be on WFMJ's website, 640. You can hear me talk a little bit about what I think is going to happen in the fall. And, of course, next Tuesday we do it again, boys. The trio right across from me will be here. We'll talk about all kinds of goofy shit, break it down. If you've got any questions, any comments, concerns, or you just want to talk about the show, make sure that you email us, info@ysnlive.com. For Richie, Tristan, Quinn, I'm DJ. We're out of here. See ya.
21
Good evening,
News.
and thank you for joining us.
Let's get right to our top
More
story
experienced reporters
A new Wilmington
At
restaurant.
GM Lordstown,
telling more local stories
We'll look at
baby boy is recovering from a broken.
around our
Good
valley.
Community in Niles,
We are here in Youngstown, right up.
Because you expect
Important for everyone. No place like home.
more local news.
In Mercer County
Before
Court.
they become life-threatening.
21 News is our valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in the Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.